how to keep a New Year's resolution. If you want to be extra sure you're going to follow through on your next New Year's resolution, this video is for you. First, we're going to talk about the importance of crafting specific, actionable New Year's resolutions. Next, I'm going to guide you through breaking down big, ambitious goals into smaller, bite-sized pieces. And then lastly, you're going to discover the power of both accountability and flexibility in ensuring better results. Ready to get started? Let's go. The first step to creating New Year's resolutions that you can keep is to be as specific as possible. So if you say something like, I want to eat healthier, what does that mean? How do you know if you've achieved that? Are you cutting out certain things of your diet? Are you eating so many servings of vegetables a week? Whatever your goal is, make sure that it's extremely specific to the point where you or anyone else can observe and say, yes, you are, or no, you are not doing that thing. The next step is to break it down. Take that big thing that you want to accomplish and make it into smaller steps. So for instance, if your goal for the year is to start a business, that's a huge prospect. So maybe in January, it's a matter of you want to read 5 business books, or maybe you want to in February find a good business plan template. Whatever your goals are, break them down into smaller pieces. I think a good example of this is even weight. Let's say that, in a year you want to lose 15 pounds. All right, maybe break it down so that you're losing 3 to 4 pounds a month, whatever makes sense for you. But we want to make sure that it's in actionable little pieces and there's due dates to each section so that we see that each goal that we're hitting is bringing us even closer to the overall New Year's resolution. The next step is to track your progress, and not just in here. We want to have some place where we can look and see how we're doing. So it could be in an app that tracks whatever particular type of goal that you're using. It could be in a journal. It could be a chart on the wall. Whatever tool you want to use, you want to ensure that you can see how you're progressing over time. That visual is going to remind you to follow through on the actions that you committed to achieve your goal. And it's going to make you feel good every time you see it and you see that you're making progress. Now, I'm going to pause for just a moment. In the comments, I would love to hear some of the tips and tricks you've used to accomplish some of your New Year's resolutions or other goals. What are some of the tools that you use? Are there any apps or technologies that you love? I'd love to learn from you and hear what you have to say. So I'll share with you, I'm a big goal tracker. I'm one of those people that I believe in checklists. They make me feel good. There's actually a whole psychological reason behind why some people like checklists, but I'm someone that believes in accountability through some form of checklist. So for instance, each and every day, I have a to-do list that I put inside of Evernote so that all day long when I complete something, I check it off. I do that for New Year's resolution-based things as well. I will say that I've used apps before for exercise. So let's say that I'm trying to increase the amount of exercise that I do. I use Fitbit and some additional exercise apps that show how I'm progressing over time. Additionally, I have apps that I use, health apps, that help me track my weight, but not just my weight. I don't know if you've even seen that there's clothing that you can buy that does your whole body measurements. And basically through taking pictures on your phone, it creates a 3D image of you and you can see not just how you're losing weight, but how it's impacting your body. So in some cases, some people actually want to lose weight. Other people are actually trying to change their body shape, especially those that have goals around weightlifting or doing some type of professional or competitive sport. So there's all kinds of technology we can use that'll help us track if we're on point. But now let's talk about even deeper accountability, because when I use those apps, I am accountable to myself. But sometimes it's helpful to have an accountability partner. I don't do this very often because of how I think, but from time to time, if I have a big goal, I'll say it out loud in front of friends and family, because anyone who knows me knows that I refuse to be a liar. I will kill myself to follow through on that thing because I said it out loud to other people. But I do know people that form mastermind groups around accountability, or people that check in with them weekly or monthly based on a particular goal. Sometimes they even join challenges where they're checking in with each other through apps, and through gamification, they're accomplishing their goals together. I have friends that do that with Duolingo. I have friends that do that with workout apps. So they're constantly competing to reach their goals, and they're accountable to each other, because if you start running in a race and the person next to you is just sitting there, obviously you can see that they're not keeping their end of the bargain. They're not just letting themselves down. They're letting their competition down as well. You let down your accountability partner by not following through. And then lastly, stay flexible. Now you might be saying, oh my gosh, like people that are hardcore, like that's an easy out. Why would you want to be flexible when it comes to any of your goals? Well, it's because sometimes life hands us things that we can't control. Let's say that you did have some type of workout goal or exercise goal, and maybe you got an injury where now you have a cast or a boot on your leg or something. Obviously, you can't do that thing. But if you're flexible, rather than just giving up or being so disappointed you're disgusted and you don't do anything, if you're flexible, you might say, well, I can't quite hit this goal, but what's another similar goal that I can accomplish even with this boot on my leg, even with this injury to my arm? And so when we allow ourselves to be flexible, not based on our not following through, so it's not, oh, I did a bad job last night, so I'm gonna be flexible and move the goalposts. That's not what I'm talking about. It's allowing for flexibility so that when life happens, we can make sure that we're still following through and accomplishing some portion of our goal. Sometimes we might even accomplish our goal earlier. So rather than just stopping there, being flexible might be, well, let's extend this out. Let's see if I can do a little bit more. Or maybe the next part of the goal is motivating someone else and helping them reach where we have. There's so many ways that we can be flexible. But yes, there are times where we have to be flexible because we're granting grace to ourselves as well. Sometimes we fall a little short. And I'm not someone who believes in making excuses, but if we're inflexible, when we catch ourselves falling short, we just become disappointed, and a lot of people completely give up. Flexibility says, okay, I messed up here. That was my one out. From this point on, I'm not going to do that again. And now we're open to continue on in the process. So if we're not flexible at all, we're probably not going to follow through on our goals when the path isn't lit just perfectly the way we want it. Speaking of achieving goals, have you ever wondered how you could be more methodical about achieving your goals? Maybe there's some type of pathway you can take when it comes to identifying, setting, and following through on your goals. Well, I have a gift for you that will help you with just that. You'll notice in the description of this video, there's a link to download my Future Ready Playbook. This is a playbook that I designed just for you that is chock full of activities and worksheets that will walk you through creating the future you want, including achieving your goals. It starts off with you identifying some of your goals, some of the ways that you're going to do it. You're evaluating what your strengths and weaknesses are. You're evaluating the environment around you, and you're developing a plan. And there's even a 30-day action plan at the end where you daily can work towards accomplishing your goal. So it removes all the ambiguity out of the process and makes it very easy to accomplish your goals. And the best part is these worksheets can be used for your personal life, for your career, or even for business. So if you haven't already downloaded it, make sure to do it today.